Hey, what's up, everyone? Nick Underhill for NewOrleans.Football, and you're watching The Dot, presented by Matt Bowers Auto Group. It's another Friday mailbag, and as always, we're taking questions from our private Twitter community that's open to all NOF members. If you aren't in there yet, let us know, and we will get you an invite. Our first question this week comes from OK, who asks, is Juwan bulking in order to improve his run blocking to be able to see the field more, or do you think he's bulking up so he can be more physical over the middle with stronger defenders in coverage? I think it's probably a combination of all the things above. Obviously, last year he was good at receiving, but the blocking needed a little bit of work, being that he was transitioning from wide receiver and playing a more physical aspect of the game. So I think seeing him get bigger has something to do with a little bit of all of that. It's a more physical position, and having that extra muscle mass is going to help him succeed a little bit more. And I think that success is important to this team because tight end is still one of those positions where there are lingering questions, and the team could see some improvement from the guys already on the roster. And if they get that, and that position becomes just something that's okay, I think overall the offense will be a lot better than it would be if they don't see progression from the guys that are already on the team. The next question comes from Matthew, who asks, with all your tape watching, Saints or otherwise, what concepts, offensive schemes, besides running more play action, do you think Pete Carmichael should consider bringing back with the new offensive weaponry? It seemed our playbook narrowed down a ton. I think there's a lot of different things they could do, and really, if you go back to that 2016 season, I think from there to 2017, there was a fundamental shift in how this team operated. And I think that we'll see some of those 2016 concepts coming back and being a bigger part of the offense. There's going to be more downfield plays, obviously, with Jameis Winston's arm and the personnel that they have on the team. But I think just attacking outside the numbers into the perimeter, a lot of those things will be more open. One of the things we saw 2017, 2018, 2019 was a lot of these plays that had vertical elements. Those became just deeper crossing routes so that Drew Brees could still target them. And I think you'll just see those plays stretch out more, and those post routes will stay posts and those goes will stay goes instead of being deep, what they call giant routes. So I think there's just going to be a fundamental shift in just the way they attack plays, but also the way Jameis Winston goes through his progressions is just going to be a little bit different than Drew Brees's. So they can still run a lot of the same plays, but get different results because he's going to look down the field first, being that he has a bigger arm. Whereas with Drew Brees, it was more of a dump off or check down. So a lot of things are going to be different this year, I think, just personnel wise, and then opening up the middle of the field will be something that also helps them a lot as opposed to last year when that area of the field was a little bit closed down. And our last question comes from, are the videos of Mike Thomas running his sharp cuts encouraging or no big deal? I think it's a good sign seeing Mike Thomas do the things he's doing on video, on the field. It's the first time we've seen him move around a little bit, change direction, and run routes on the field, which puts him a little bit closer to returning than he was before that. So I'm encouraged by the things we're seeing. I know if you follow different doctors on Twitter, one guy's optimistic, the other guy isn't. I think all that stuff right now is just really kind of noise, and we got to see him on the field doing it live, cutting and catching passes from a quarterback in live action. That's something that we haven't really seen in almost 2 years now. So it's good that we're seeing him do these things, but I think there's still a lot of things we need to see before knowing that he's all the way back. But look, I'll say this, if he's putting that stuff on social media for us to see, he feels good about where he's at. And I think that's really the big barometer right here. All of us can try to interpret it different ways, but ultimately what he's feeling in his body seems to be good and moving in the right direction. And that's better than being pessimistic about where things are, which is where the situation sat around this point last year. So that wraps it up for us this week. As always, appreciate all you guys' support and keep it locked to NewOrleans.Football.